Hi, Aaron. So for this little instructional video, I thought it would be really helpful if I showed you how to update and add photo galleries to the website. So that's what I'm going to go over. This process it'll seem a bit daunting at first, but I promise you once you do it once or twice, it's kind of like riding a bicycle. You'll get the hang of it right away, and it actually will become quite easy for you. So this is the front end page that we're going to be examining during this little lesson here. This should look very familiar. This is just the photo gallery page of the Comfort of Home Services website. On the back end, I'm actually going to start from the dashboard, which is the very first page that you'll see when you log into the back end of the website. So this is really a good starting point. I'm sure you've noticed by this point, this is where I start in all of these instructional videos I've done for you. So what we're going to do is a couple things. First, I'm going to start by actually showing you how to find this photo gallery page on the back end. So we're going to click into Pages right here. And then once it loads, we'll see our photo gallery pages right here. All we have to do to go into it is click Edit. And then once it loads, we'll be able to examine the architecture of how this page is constructed. So if we scroll down a little bit, we get to this part here in this visual builder. And you can see there are various elements that should be very reflective of what we see on the front end. So at the top, just for comparison's sake, we've got a nice little photo gallery description right here. And then we've got a couple headings: combo trailers, exteriors, interiors, and so on. So if we contrast that to the front end, here is our description. And then here is one of those headers, another one, and so on, right? Now, you'll probably have noticed that I intentionally skipped these middle parts right here and here, and that's because those are really what we're going to be examining. You'll see if you look in there in this first one that you kind of have what looks like kind of some code, but it's also written in plain English, so we can kind of tell what it is. This is actually what's referred to as a short code. Short codes are something that are specific to WordPress, and I wanted to take the time to kind of dive into them a little bit because this is something you'll probably encounter time and time again if you are working with WordPress websites. So in a nutshell, a short code is exactly what we see here. It's a small resemblance of code that basically is in place of a larger piece of code. So let me try and make this even more simple for you. Basically what we have here is in relation to the combo trailers gallery, so we'd be talking about this part here, these 4 images and this heading, we've got this little short code. Now, if we were to look at the full amount of code it would take to implement that, we would actually be looking at something like this, a whole bunch of code. Pretty messy, pretty convoluted, and not the easiest to work with. So what we do in WordPress is we create these short codes. Now, you don't have to actually worry about coding anything. I'm now going to skip to the part where I show you how these are generated automatically, and all you have to do is upload your images. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to click over into another part of our WordPress dashboard, and we're going to go look at this here, the photo gallery, because this is the little piece of software that is generating each of these pieces of shortcodes. Okay? So we're going to jump over here and we're going to examine this real quick. Now once it loads, a lot of this should look pretty familiar. We see we've got exteriors, combo trailers, shower and laundry trailers, restroom, so on. So these are all of your galleries that Rachel had created for you when she was making the changes to the website. Now what we can do is let's just go ahead and pick exteriors. We can come over here to Edit, and we can click this little checkbox pencil kind of icon, and when it loads, we will see we are presented with some more options. What I really want to focus on though is the fact that all of your images appear here. So Basically what this is this is just the gallery for all of your exterior images of the trailers that you guys offer. And Rachel has uploaded these images into this gallery and then embedded them onto that page. So what we're going to do, so that this is pretty straightforward for you, is I'm actually going to create a new gallery. I'm going to add images to it, and then I'm going to generate the shortcode and apply that shortcode to the page. So basically we're going to go from start to finish of creating a gallery and adding it to the website. That way you can follow it step by step. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my main page where it shows all of my available galleries, and I'm going to come up here and click Add New. Now you'll see here the first thing we want to do is add a name. So it just so happens that the images I have pulled for this sample all have to do with the Army. So we're going to upload these 3 Army images to the website, again just for example's sake. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this gallery Army. You can leave the slug alone, and all we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we can see that there's no images here yet. So we want to add images. It'll take a second for this here to load. But once it does, you can see it brings up a lot of the images that are already loaded to the website. We want to come here, Upload Files. So we're going to click that, and then we're going to click this button, Choose Files. Now this brings up our desktop where we can actually go and find those images on our computer to upload into the website. So let's see here, let me find, okay, sample gallery. So there's my folder, there's my Army images. I'm going to hit on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down the control button and I'm going to click all of them to highlight them all at one time. And then I'm going to hit open, and you'll see here that WordPress is going to think for a second and it will upload the images here. Okay. Now we need to select these images. So again, we're going to hold down Control on our keyboard and we're going to click those 3 images that we want to put into our gallery. Once they're highlighted, you will come down here and click this large button to add selected images to gallery, and then they drop right into place. Okay. So all we have to do from this point is just come up here and hit save to actually save our changes. That's solidifying everything we've done. And you'll see we now have a gallery called Army down here in addition to all of our other galleries. Now what we're going to do is the second part of this equation where we actually take that gallery and we implement it onto this page. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here into our left rail options column and we're going to go to this option, Generate Shortcode. Now once this loads, you'll see there are a ton of options here. You don't really have to do much with any of them. All you have to do is leave this as the default selection for thumbnails. And you want to come here to Gallery, and we want to select our new gallery, Army. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit this Generate button. It's going to think to itself for a second, and then it's going to fill in these fields. What we want is the shortcode field. So I'm going to take everything inside this box and I'm going to copy it. Now what I'm going to do is go back to our gallery page. So we got to go find that. All right, here we go. So we're going to open up Photo Gallery. There we go, page loaded. And I'm just going to add this gallery to the very bottom of the page. So like I showed you in another tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to repurpose some of these elements. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to clone this title. I'm going to drag it down here, and then I'm going to click this pencil to edit it, and I'm going to change the heading to Sample Army Gallery, and then I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to come and I'm going to copy this shortcode. I'm going to clone it, drag it down into place, and then I'm going to hit edit. And I'm going to paste into place my new generated shortcode for my Army gallery. And then I'm going to hit save. And you'll see everything is pretty much in place exactly like the other galleries that we already have. So once that's all done, we're pretty much set. We just need to update the changes and make sure that they work. So I'm going to hit my update button here. It's going to load. It's going to think to itself. And now that that has been pushed to the front end, the very last step I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the cache so that we can actually see those changes on the front end. And I'm going to come over here to my photo gallery page and I'm going to reload it, and we're going to see if those changes went through. So let's scroll all the way to the bottom. Alright, there we go. There's my sample Army gallery with my 3 images. You'll see if I click one, it will open up a light box just like all of the other images, and everything is in place and works just fine. So that's how you create a new gallery, add images to that gallery, generate the shortcode for the gallery, add the shortcode to the page, and then update the page. And that's pretty much it. You can see I did that whole thing in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and it's relatively straightforward. And as usual, if you need any clarification or help with this, Rachel and I are just an email away. Thanks.